Welcome to the Daily Devo. My name is Diana. Today we are talking about scattering and gathering. Ecclesiastes 3:5 says this: "There is a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them." It's really what they're saying is there's a time to cast away stones and a time to gather them. We don't know if they were talking about going out into the fields to gather stones to build a wall and to tear the wall down. We don't know. We just know that the writer in Ecclesiastes is pointing out the opposite extremes of seasons that are happening in life. It was telling us there's a time to gather and a time to scatter. Have you experienced both in your life? Maybe it's the times of little ones that are scattering the toys all over the room, right? And then there's a time of putting them all back on the shelf where they go. Or maybe there's a time of your family scattering all over the community as they go about their day and their week and their life. And there's a time of coming back home together. There's a time of scattering ideas out and of gathering ideas in, a time of scattering students out to recess, and you can imagine them going all over the playground, and the time when the bell rings and they gather back inside for class. We understand the principle. I wonder if today, as you notice the scattering and the gathering that happens around you, would you pause and think about how the work of God can endure in both seasons? I wonder if today there may be something to scatter or something to gather. And one final thought about scattering and gathering. I'm reminded in John 10 again, and Jesus says this. He says, "I am the gate, and whoever enters will be saved." And then he says this. He says, "They will come in and go out. They will go out and find pasture, and they will come in." What is Jesus talking about? He's talking about how gathering with him to pray, to rest, to learn, to surrender, to be restored, all of that is this coming in, this gathering with Jesus. And Jesus is also talking about us scattering out into our everyday life as we go about our living in the field. That's what that phrase means in Scripture. It's this idea of scattering and gathering. So 2 questions. Have you spent time with Jesus lately? This rhythm with him is so important as we gather with him because it helps us as we scatter about in our life. So think about the times of scattering and the times of gathering today because God is at work in both. And think about the times when you can gather together with God and with his people because it will empower you as you scatter out to live your life on purpose. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time.